So you're thinking about moving to Charlottesville? Well, let me save you a whole lot of time because I'm about to tell you everything you need to know. What you'll love, what might drive you a little bit crazy, and honestly, what locals secretly wish you knew before you even got here. And honestly, a few flat out falsehoods. I've grown up here, I live here, and I help people buy, sell, relocate all the time as a realtor. So trust me, real deal. And as my friends will tell you blatantly, I was not born to be subtle. Stick around because later I'm going to tell you about a hidden cost most people don't even see coming and how to avoid it. Well, I don't know how much you can avoid it, but at least you'll know about it. All right, let's get into it. Where even is Charlottesville? Charlottesville itself, well, pretty small. We're only about 10 square miles total. And also we have less than 50,000 residents in the city of Charlottesville. But when most people hear or say they're moving to Charlottesville, or they got PCS'd to Charlottesville, they usually mean somewhere in the Charlottesville metropolitan area. I use the analogy of Charlottesville is like a donut hole, okay? Very simple, very easy. You can see that donut hole. Well, the donut is Albemarle County, and that completely surrounds the city of Charlottesville. Both are Charlottesville zip codes, so it doesn't really matter. You can't really tell which, just because it says your mailing address says Charlottesville, whether you're in the county or in the city. And yes, it does make a difference because they are two different municipalities. So, also often heard of or recommended places are also going to fall into that zone. Places like Crozet, Ivy, Earlysville, Pantops, Keswick, all of those are going to be in the Charlottesville area. Most of those are going to have Charlottesville addresses, zip codes. Why you want someone who knows all of these areas working on your behalf. I have grown up in this gorgeous, fabulous area. And as a professional, I can guide you for your new adventure, your next step, your third act, your second act, whatever it is, your new job. Text or email me and let's connect. All right, even places around the donut hole like Louisa, Fluvanna, Green, or Nelson, they all provide options in everything from if you must have a view to the prices that you're going to pay to access to amenities. We have everything from, I have got to be in walking distance to, I'm good with having my own chickens and going for groceries once a week kind of areas. So if you're picturing walking from your house to a really cute little coffee shop on the downtown mall in 5 minutes, we need to chat. We need to double check your location. I honestly once had a client buy a home thinking they were in Charlottesville, right? Turns out they were 30 minutes outside of town. So this is a prime example of why you need to reach out to me first. So before you start to fall in love with a house on Zillow, call me, text me, email me. I'm happy to help you figure out where you're going to want to concentrate on to fit your needs. And again, it's everything we have to keep in consideration. We need to think about where you're going to be working, where you want to be near, things you don't want to be near. So those are all the things that I keep in consideration. Again, the first thing you'll know about me, I am not subtle. I am not going to sugarcoat anything. If it's not the right fit, I'm going to tell you why. And if you think that it is, then great. We're going to go full force ahead. All right, coming up, let's talk about a hidden tax that surprises a lot. Okay, so let's talk about the cost of living, because Charlottesville, not cheap. And like I have said before, I've grown up here, and I am the first one to admit that. A decent starter home could be single family detached or attached, like a townhome. You need to be realistically looking to expect around $450,000 as a starter in the city. If you go out into the outlying counties, it can get more affordable, but still, you're not really going to find anything that is move-in ready for $100,000, $200,000, even $300,000. If you want land, prices jump up fast. And if you're thinking about renting, yeah, that's pricey too. I don't do rentals, but you don't need me to. The way that the rental market is set up in our area truly is so that it is self-serve, for lack of a better term. If I can help you, because again, if you're moving from out of the area, I am more than happy to help you navigate after you've settled on, say, your top 3. I'm happy to give you feedback and information such as that, but I just don't do rentals. You just don't need me to. Now, taxes. Brace yourself. First up on the board, property taxes. Pretty average. You're looking at about 85 cents on the $100 value. State income tax, yep, Virginia's got one of those. And the big one that a lot of people don't recognize is going to be, dun 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 dun, personal property tax. This one actually gets people a lot because they're not used to it. Annual tax on your car, boat, motorcycles, even your campers or RVs. Even though you paid taxes at the time of purchase, even though you could never honestly sell your car, boat, motorcycle for what they say the value is, but you're going to be paying personal property taxes on it until it has either aged out, been sold, or been disposed of. So like a car wreck, think of it that way. Hello, June 5th and December 5th. Those are the dates that the 2 payments are due by. Now, I did have a couple move here from Florida who nearly choked when they got their first car tax bill. So if you have got a fleet of vehicles, just prepare yourself. And next up, let's talk about what kind of jobs are actually available here. Charlottesville's biggest employer is, yes, UVA, the University of Virginia. We're talking the university, the hospital, education, and even the research division. Massive job hub here. And as you can see behind me, just growing and thriving. So it's a big, big part. And on that note, if you're coming here for an interview or a position with the University of Virginia, let me know. I can help you maximize your time while you're in town to see if this area would even be a good fit for you and those you'll be moving with. Folks, no place is perfect for everyone, and I am the first one to absolutely say that about Charlottesville. We also have a growing tech scene, plus of obviously a ton of wineries and agro-tourism businesses. And honestly, even a surprising large military connection. Places such as Rivanna Station, it's sort of like a baby base, but then you have all the support for that and all the military. Places, industries such as Emerson, Northrop Grumman, and more. Remote workers love it here. The internet is in general solid, and you can literally take your laptop to a vineyard. Really, I was working. I don't care what they say. But just maybe not let's Zoom call, or at least bring a coffee mug to hold your Chardonnay. If you're not a fan of commuting, choose your home carefully. Some roads can look really close on a map until you hit 29 traffic. And if you're not a fan of crossing mountains, 2-lane winding roads and such, again, we need to chat. Now, if you've got kids, let's talk about the schools. So Charlottesville has solid public schools. Actually, a lot of people move from certain states, I won't name them, that actually you're almost forced to go to private schools. But which district you land in, yeah, it really does matter. Now, there's no one be-all, do-all, because as I have learned as a mama as well, there are no educational emergencies, meaning every child has their own path to go forward with. Overall, you can check out your favorite websites for a general view from Charlottesville to Albemarle to Louisa and all of the others. We really are very, very blessed to have great schools, great public schools. And you know what? Some of the examples are the city of Charlottesville, huge diversity, but less of a selection, smaller schools, right? That's going to be a better fit for some kids. Albemarle County, well, the schools are going to be much larger and you're going to have a more substantial suburban feel, okay? But if those don't work and you're doing one of the others, maybe you need a private school because we have some amazing private schools. You have plenty of options. Okay, so let's talk about healthcare because yes, you know what? It's that good here too. Well, I ran back and jumped in the car because in true Charlotte, actually, I think it's just a Virginia thing. We are going to have one of those 40-degree swing days. So this last night, this morning, it was in the upper 30s. And so I have my nice little summer sweater because it's, of course, you know, spring. But it right now is in the 40s, the low 40s, and my fingers are freezing. So anyways, enough about me. Let's get on to talking about everything Charlottesville. Next up, I want to talk about healthcare and medical access. If top tier healthcare is on your must-have list, you're going to love it here. Hands down, UVA Health is world class. And we have a ton of specialists, all the specialists. It's also beyond UVA because we also have Centera Martha Jefferson. So that is a secondary hospital system and medical system. So doctors here in general are either connected to Centera or to UVA. I don't think a lot have mutual connection, dedication, certification, whatever doctors have to do to practice in a hospital or whatnot. Both are great. For example, here's a prime example. My daughter has narcolepsy, right? Well, her doctor for narcolepsy is honestly known worldwide. Dr. Winter. He has been on TV. I think he was on Oprah. I mean, just across the board. He's been in sports magazines because sleep is such a crucial thing to anybody's life. He's been in papers, TV, magazines. You know what? He's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And guess what? He's here. He's here in Charlottesville. He's actually just over the hill in Pantops. His office is just at the top of Pantops. So again, oh, and veterans, even veterans care. Charlottesville does have a VA clinic, not a hospital, but we do have a VA clinic. And so the closest VA hospital would actually be just up 64/250, whichever way you really wanted to go, in Richmond. So, you know, honestly, even that's an hour away. It's just down the road. I go to Richmond to go to Short Pump and to eat at the Brazilian Steakhouse. So that's how close it is. Okay. So getting off the healthcare, but sort of staying in that feed, that vibe, let me talk to my retirees. Plenty of options. Okay. Plenty of options for retirees. And what do I mean by that? Well, obviously we have the healthcare. Obviously we have a ton of anything and everything volunteer services you could ever want to do. Because so many of my folks, it's not about stepping away from everything, but they want to step into their third act and give back kind of thing. So we do not have a ton of 55 and better communities. I know in certain areas, they are down every street and you could just be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here we're talking, we have one up in Greene County called Four Seasons. And I think that is completely built out. They may have 1 or 2 lots left, but those would all be resales. Greene County, again, going to give you a little bit lower taxes. Check out my video on Greene County for more stuff on that. There's one in Fluvanna called the Villages of Nahor. Amazing quality builder built those. They are attached. The one in Greene County are single family, but the ones at Nahor are attached, but they're like a villa. Again, each one's different. The one up in Greene County has a ton of amenities, ton of services, clubhouse, pool, yada, yada, yada. The Villages at Nahor, much more green space. And I don't know that they have, I know they have a park. I don't think they have a pool. They don't have a ton of amenities. But again, we just don't have a lot of 55 and better communities. But we do have a ton, well, I'm not going to even say that. We do have a good selection of single level living sprinkled throughout. It is probably the number one thing I'm getting requests for as a realtor in the area. So we're seeing more and more options pop up. I have friends who are actually coming from Florida. They are building in Belvedere. They're doing a really super nice attached villa. Have a garage, have single level living. It'll also have a complete basement that's walkout, backs up to trees, right there in the thick of it all in Belvedere. So they're building that. So we do have options. So but here's what I will also say about that. If you are one of my folks like that, we need to think ahead. Obviously, if there's something available for a resale, great. But if you're thinking, you know what, Pam, we're really aiming to be wrapping up here in beep, beep, beep. And we want to be in Charlottesville in our single family new home in spring 2026. Now's the time. Call me, text me, email me, because especially if you do new construction, you're definitely going to be pushing into 2026 at this point. Again, we're in the spring of 2025. Had to think there for a minute. So start early, call me, let's get moving on what's best for you. Okay. All right. So now let's talk shopping, dining, and what life actually feels like here in Charlottesville. Okay, so foodies, oh my God, you are so in luck. Let me give you a few insider tips here. Best fancy dinner. For me, I would say the top are going to be the Ivy Inn, Marigold at Keswick Hall. Ooh, or, if you want something a little more accessible, Hamilton's on the downtown mall. Let's talk best cheap eats. Cheap eats for me, I think it's going to be Bodo's Bagels. Period, hands down. You can have it for breakfast. And if you get the #1 ticket, you're winning for the day. That's the day you go play the lottery. But you can also have it for lunch or dinner. And it's anything and everything on a bagel, or they have salads and whatnot. But best cheap eats, yes, I'm going to say Bodo's Bagels. Wineries and breweries, more than you'll ever visit. Seriously, if you have not checked out some of my other videos, we have wineries, cideries, breweries, distilleries, and ease I probably don't even know about. Every direction, every taste, every budget. Shopping-wise, well, for groceries, you can't throw a stone without hitting a grocery store. Well, and I take that back, because we do have a couple of food deserts, but the number of grocery stores, and we have everything, more than everything. Everything from Wegmans, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Kroger's, Food Lion, Aldi, Harris Teeter, Giant, and more. We have a couple of private ones, but let's just say you're not going to wander far to get the kind of groceries you want. But if you're a Target fan, I'm going to warn you, ours is small, and I know that can touch some people and irritate others. So be heads up on that. Our Target is on the north end of town, and it is smaller than what a lot of people anticipate. Now, let's get real. Let's chat about what you're going to love, what you're going to hate, and you know what you're going to miss living here as well. Okay, so coming up now, here's what I want to talk about in general. Charlottesville, I mean, it's really, it's not perfect. I think it's pretty darn awesome, and so do a lot of other people, but it's not perfect. So let's talk love it, hate it, or miss it, okay? Clear couple things going on here. Love the scenery. Hello, look at our environment right now. I am in the throes of spring in Charlottesville. You know what else? The huge sense of community. Also, Charlottesville, hello, we are talking history, amazing food, fabulous wine, and access to outdoors from the mountains to the rivers, and then of course our location. We're just a stone's throw from everything. Within the state, and you know what, even on the East Coast, because within the state, if you are a snowbird and really need to get your good ski on, you're just next to West Virginia and some amazing ski resorts there. If you're a beach baby and you've got to recenter with the water, we're 2.5, well, depending on the day and time of the year, about 3 hours from Virginia Beach. And that's not the only beach. There are other options along the East Coast. We are 2 hours from our nation's capital. We are an hour from Richmond, our state capital. So really, we are just perfectly positioned. Talking about being on the East Coast, remember we have Amtrak, and our Amtrak station actually is on 3 different lines, meaning we are on 3 of the major lines. So you can really go anywhere in the U.S. from our little old Charlottesville Amtrak station. I use Amtrak all the time to go up to places like D.C., New York, go down to Florida, have done Chicago. There's so many options. So again, Charlottesville is so centrally located, and that makes a huge difference. Okay, what else? Okay, so hate. Well, elephant in the room, that's going to be the cost of living. But again, depending on where you're coming from, that is going to be taken with a grain of salt, because I really do have a ton of clients and friends who have come here from larger metropolitan areas, and they have seen a reduction, and they are so thrilled because we don't have the issues with mandated certain things, certain insurances. We don't have exorbitant gas prices. It's just not, we don't have all that. So for them, it's a lower, but in general, higher cost of living. What seems like ridiculous housing prices, again, has to be taken with a grain of salt. But I will fully admit, if I was buying a house right now, Charlottesville would be a hard one to swallow. Also, traffic. A lot of people, and I don't get this, but a lot of people say traffic and crazy traffic, which I definitely don't get. But if you're used to places like driving in Washington, D.C., or driving in New York, or driving I-4 down in Florida, whatever it is, those to me are traffic. Here, you have a little bit of gridlock on occasion. Really not that big of a deal. So keeping that and you know what? The other one that a lot of people hate is going to be the intrusion of the UVA bubble, meaning certain events with the university are definitely going to affect you whether you're associated with the university or not. I've shared it before, I'll share it again. I actually had to move my wedding date, the original wedding date, because turns out it was going to be on a UVA home football weekend. And so relatives, family, friends, we couldn't get enough hotel rooms. So we actually had to bump it to the following week when there was an away game. Totally nothing to do with me, totally nothing to do with what the event in my life was, but the bubble intruded. And then let's talk about miss. What would you miss living in Charlottesville? Because you are. There are different places for different people. If you are a 24/7 kind of person, you need to do your Walmarting at 2 a.m. You need to go grab a bite to eat at 3 a.m. You need whatever. Not going to happen in Charlottesville. This area in general and the surrounding counties roll up their sidewalks. We're talking 9 o'clock, everything's done and over. Now, yes, don't come after me, especially my locals. I know there are certain things that happen in certain places you can go, but in general, there is not a lot of 24/7 anything. This town sleeps. Also, what are you going to miss? A lot of the national food chains. We don't have them. And that is not, please do not get me wrong. I'm not sad about that. I'm not upset about that. We just don't have them, and we don't miss them, quite honestly. Those are the kind of things you do when we travel. So when I go down to Low Country, then I will pop into whatever it is that I want. When I go out I'll go out go up to New York, I'll pop into Whataburger. You know, it's that kind of thing. Charlottesville doesn't have a lot of chains. We have like one Wendy's. We don't have a Olive Garden. We don't have a Red Lobster. We don't have a lot of the chains. And you know what? That's okay. And if you talk to somebody, a local here, most of them are going to say they don't care. They don't miss them. All right. Well, I'm going to head back to the car. Let's wrap this up. As we're moving on, let me fill you in on a couple of things that would be especially the everything part about Charlottesville, everything you need to know about. So we have some of our own pronunciations. If you haven't checked out, again, some of my other videos, look back. I've mentioned this before, but our top ones are things like R-I-O is Rio Road. And yes, you will hear lots of stories about where that comes from, but it actually comes from the War of Northern Aggression, burning down Rio Mills. And that is, Rio Mills was then the beginning of the road. So it's Rio Road. We have 2 World UNESCO Heritage Sites. One is Monticello. People often think it is Monticello, but it's Monticello. And that is Thomas Jefferson's small mountain home. The second UNESCO Heritage Site is his creation of an academic village, the Rotunda, and the University of Virginia. Stanton. Everybody often thinks it's pronounced Staunton, but it is Stanton. What else? Oh, we actually have a couple of people get very clutch their pearls, for lack of a better term. Off of Ivy Road, where I'm driving, is actually a main road, like not major road, but main road. And you have to go down and through a single lane bridge underpass for train. And people get freaked out and they're like, how do you do that? Well, it's easy. Most of the time we just blow our horns and slow down. We also have one up in a neighborhood off of Polo Grounds Road. Same thing. Everybody stops, you honk your horn, you make sure nobody's coming, and then you very quickly go up under the single lane bridge underpass, because most of them are blind corners. The one on Ivy Road, not so much. Okay, so let's move on. So, Charlottesville. Well, it's not perfect, but if you know what to expect, I think you're going to love it here. And if it doesn't feel like it is the right place for you, that's okay. Honestly, it's not going to be perfect for everybody. But if you're seriously thinking about moving here, call me, text me, email me. Like I said, my name is Pam. I've grown up here. I am a local realtor, and I would love to help you buy, sell, relocate, retire, whatever your next step is going to be. We'll make sure that you land in the right spot. We can chat about it and see what works best for your family. I have clients who honestly want to jump into 3+ acres within an hour of work and are ready for a renovation. And then I have clients who are like, oh no, we have been there, we have done that. It needs to be perfectly move-in ready, and we have the checkbook or the account to make that happen. Make sure you subscribe. for all the Charlottesville tea, and make sure you check out my other videos. I really do cover a lot. Ew, and make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be updating the comparison and with the cost of living for 2025. Because again, that is a big chunk of what can make the decision a make or break. And I also do deep dives into neighborhoods. I talk about schools. I talk about pets. Honestly, I'm answering my clients' questions and I'm putting them on YouTube because if one of my clients has that question or they want to know about that neighborhood, I know a lot more of you do as well. And that's why I do this channel. So, your Charlottesville journey starts here. Let's chat. I'm Pam, and I look forward to seeing you next time.